Hello guys, you must know extreme weather, but do you know that extreme weather can also affect fishing? In the next few minutes, we will explain how extreme weather influences fishing and fishermen, what is MSC, and how can we deal with it. Ready? Let's go!
Okay, here is the information we are going to introduce today. 1. How does extreme weather influence fishing? 2. How does extreme weather influence fishermen or fishing? 3. What influences fishing? 4. What will happen if the weather is very harsh, very cold, or face a rainstorm? If you are interested, stay tuned to find out.
How does extreme weather influence fishing? Research has shown that extreme weather factors are a key aspect of the commercial fishing operating environment and can present danger to fish harvesters and fishing vessels. Climate change is having a profound impact on oceans and marine life. Its effects are changing the distribution of fish stocks and their food, in addition to expected rise in sea level, shoreline erosion, stresses on fisheries and saltwater intrusions in groundwater, create major challenges. Water temperature, wind, barometric pressure. Water temperature. Most fish are cold-blooded and cannot regulate their body temperature. This means they are forced to adjust their metabolism according to the temperature of the surrounding water. In colder waters, fish tend to slow down and generally require less food to support themselves. In warmer waters, they are more active and therefore need more food to survive. But that's not the only way water temperature affects fish. To breathe, fish rely on their gills to extract dissolved oxygen from water. As it happens, the amount of dissolved oxygen in water depends almost completely on the surrounding temperature. Based on experience, cooler waters contain more dissolved oxygen and warmer waters less. In short, each fish has a minimum water temperature where it cannot eat and a maximum water temperature where it cannot breathe. Wind. Wind can influence water bodies and their residents in several ways. The most obvious one is by making waves. As wind blows along the surface on water, it creates friction. The stronger the wind blows, the greater the friction, and the greater the waves. Waves can increase the turbidity of the water, pulling currents and nutrients along with them. All of these factors influence the way fish will behave. Last but not least, winds cause changes in barometric pressure. Barometric pressure, or atmospheric pressure, is the force exerted by the Earth's atmosphere on a given area. Rising barometric pressure means improving weather and clear skies. Conversely, dropping barometric pressures mean that a storm or cold front is on its way. Atmosphere pushes down on Earth's surface. It does the same to its many bodies on water. These waters in turn push the fish that live there. The main types of extreme weather include heat waves, cold waves, and tropical cyclones affect these three elements.
When a cold snap hits, agricultural fish will freeze to death. Not only that, but also a lack of silk algae may extend after the fish die, and it will suffocate it to death by uncovering on the hard clam. Experts recommend keeping warm and protective measures in winter, such as building winter breaks, raising the water level, and replenishing groundwater, and avoiding tropical and hardy fish overwintering as much as possible. When it comes to fishing industry, the strong wind will blow the net which is used to keep the fishing boats warm when the cold current strikes, cause the fishermen afraid to go out to fishing. When the situation happens, fishermen can harvest earlier to reduce losses. In the heat of summer, the fish will die collectively due to the high water temperature, and the water quality will change or even lack oxygen. By the way, the high temperature will also cause the fishermen to suffer from his stock. Fishermen can move their distribution north, raising more heat-resistant tropical fish and emergency water whales to increase oxygen level. And when the water pond suddenly encounters a heavy rain, it will float and let the fish escape, and the water quality will also change. The solution is to set up fishing nets and lower the water level beforehand.
Hi everyone, I'm going to report the part 3. How do extreme weather influence fishermen or fishing? Overview of lab fisheries. FAO reports that the combined total fish production of the 22 states from all sources in 2012 reached 3.9 million tons. The combined total imports of seafood commodities in 2011 reached 961,000 tons, valued at $2.32 billion United dollars. Okay. While the combined report were 721,000 tons, valued at $1.6969 billion United dollars, resulting in a substantially negative trade balance. The per content of seafood consumption is around 10 kg none, while the international average is 19.2 kg none. A negative impact of climate change on fishery resource is already evident in the declining catches from carp fishing. Probably coastal area most affected by climate change. Egypt Nile Delta, with its coastal front on the Mediterranean, is considered vulnerable to the impacts of climate change. In addition to this rise is sea level, shoreline erosion, stress on fisheries, and saltwater intrusion is groundwater create major challenge. The northern Egyptian lakes are also highly vulnerable to the impact of climate change. Since the lakes are relatively shallow, climate change can lead to an increase in water temperature, which could result in changes in the lake's ecosystem and change in yield.
What is MSC? There are more than 400 wild capture fisheries around the world certified to this standard. To become certified, these fisheries must comply with requirements according to three principles. First, only fishing healthy stocks. Second, being well managed so stocks can be fished for the long term. And third, minimizing their impact on other species and the wider ecosystem. How can we deal with the situation? Sustainable fisheries that meet the MSC's standard for sustainable fishing are well managed and more prepared for climate change. These fisheries have effective monitoring and management in place to reduce their impacts on the environment and only catch with what is sustainable. Following advice from scientists, these fisheries have agreed plans for responding to likely environmental changes. These fisheries show that it is possible to balance economic and environmental priorities to protect our oceans and seafood supplies.
At the end, we would like to remind everyone again, we have only one Earth. Please take care of it. reduce the use of plastic and carbon emission, and do your best to be environmentally friendly. Okay, above is all the information that we want to propose. Bye!